Hi there, students. How are you today? Welcome to eSkill Point. We are talking about arithmetic progression, also called as AP, and also we might just want to know that how it is different from geometric progression, which is currently not the focus of attention as of now. Before we start looking at AP, I want you to know what is a sequence. A list of numbers which have a specific relationship between consecutive terms. Now, this is very important that you need to understand consecutive terms is called a sequence. I repeat, a list of numbers having a specific relationship between the consecutive numbers. An example here given is 1, 3, 5, 7. 1 and 3 are consecutive numbers. 3 and 5, 5 and 7 are consecutive numbers, and the sequence is trying to establish a relationship between them. In this case, the relationship between these two numbers is that the next number, which is, n plus 1, that is the next term, is having a difference of d, which is 2. So what is n plus 1 and d? We will learn in the next slide. Let's look at this number, this sequence, which is 2, 6, 18, 54. Again, there is a relationship. The sequence has a relationship between the first and the second term. 2 is the first term, 6 is the second term, 18 is the third term, 54 is the fourth term, and so on. The relationship that we can possibly guess is that the multiplier factor 3 is used between 2 and 6, and so has been the case with 6 and 18 and 18 and 54. Well, would we call this an AP? No, we would not. You know the difference now. So AP, as in arithmetic progression, has a definition which means that if the various terms of a sequence are formed by adding a fixed number, we saw that number was 2 in the previous expression, the sequence that we wrote 1, 3, 5, 7. So the fixed number was 2 to the previous term, which was 1, as in n, okay, or the difference between the two consecutive terms, which was 3 or 5, 5 or 7, is a fixed number, which was 2. Then the sequence is called AP. All right. Now let me tell you that in your mathematical examination, the examiner would ask you if the sequence is AP or not AP. Now for you to prove that the sequence is AP, it's a very simple way to do it. You saw the sequence which was called 1, 3, 5 and 7 and so on, correct? Now we would assume that the term 1 is n, the term 3 is n1, the term 5 is n2, and the term the term n3 represents 7. The best way is to prove that the reverse. For example, if I say that n2 minus n1, now n2 minus n1, which means, well, n2 is 5. So 5 minus 3. If it is equal to n3 minus n2, which again means 7 minus 5, which is again equal to 2. So then the sequence is AP. So now please pay attention. This small exercise, it's necessary for you to write these steps so that you tell the examiner that the sequence that you're dealing with is AP. Only after you understand that the sequence is AP can you move to the next level of finding the difference, finding the first term, finding the last term, finding the nth term. So we need to understand some basic concepts before we start getting deeper into AP. You already know that I've been using the word term. So 1, 3, 5, 7 are the numbers of a sequence where the first term is 1. So the first term generally is represented by n. All right, so let's look at or a. A is the first term. N is the nth term. It could be the 46th term. It could be the 100th term. So we look at A as the first term. D obviously is the difference between the two terms. Now that we know that our sequence is AP. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. But before that, 2, 4, 6, 8, very good example of AP. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yes, the difference in these terms is the number 5, and hence our sequence is an AP. So you have understood what is an AP. This is a very illustrative example of how you come to the formula. Again, without getting much complicated, let's look at A as the first term. Like I told you, A is the first term, the blue smiley. D is the difference. Okay. So when we A, let's always keep in mind is the 1357 example here. Now A is 1. Okay. A plus D, we know that D was 2 in that case. So A plus D is so 1 plus 2, which is again which is 3. Okay, this is 1. So again we know that D was 2. So if I say A plus 2D, so A is 1 and this is 2 and this is 2. So here we 5. Same thing, 1, 2, 2, 2. Sorry, we have 7. So 1357. So again, whatever we spoke has been illustrated very well in this diagram for you to understand, so that you know that there is a relationship between A and D. The sequence is now getting a variable. The variables are A, which is the first term, D is the difference. And look at how this progression happens. A is the first term and the third term is A plus and the fourth term is A plus 3D. So this is basically a general form of an arithmetic progression, and we have A plus D, A plus 2D, and we come to A plus n minus 1D. The nth term is basically the term whose value we are searching for, where A is the first term and D is the common difference, and n is the nth term of the value of the nth term that we are searching for. For example, 1357, we have 4 terms. We might want to find out what would be the 25th term. So we substitute A with 1, D with 2, and N with 25. You would get A as 1 plus 24 into 2, so which is 48 plus 1, which is 49. So this is how you would calculate the 25th term and so on. All right, without repeating much, we are referring to the first term as A and the difference as D. The formula that comes to your mind should be this. An is equal to A plus n minus 1D. You can substitute n with the nth term, the value of the nth term that you're searching for. In my sequence, which we were talking about 1, 3, 5, 7 earlier, if I wanted to know the value of the 25th term, I would just add 25 to this number. I would put here as A plus 25 minus 1 D, where A is 1 plus 24 times 2, which is the difference. I get 49. So my 25th term, just like this is the first, second, third, fourth, and the 25th term would be 49. Now, this is how the application of the arithmetic progression formula is used. Remember it always, an is equal to A plus n minus 1. Thank you so much. This is the first step in understanding the AP. Guys, stay connected because AP doesn't end here. We have much more to share. Thank you for your visit to eSkill Point, where we make things very easy for you and also scoring for each and every student. All the best and take care. Happy learning.